Alright folks, well that's what a chippy looks like when it's stripped down to its almost base components. I had a few issues getting these off because they have got these little sort of almost a cap washer that's hammered on, but then when you look at the end of the bar here, it's almost threaded, which is, it might just be scored to be fair, but it looks like they just hammered on, so they were a bit of a pig to get off. And I'm also having issues with the front wheel and the pedals because they have exactly the same cup inside there. I don't really need to take them off, I just want to take them off so it'd be easier to clean them up a bit and also check what the condition of the metal's like. The axle on the front is, I'm assuming, fixed because that's the pedal, and there's a roll pin in there, and that's proving, well, it's all soaking in WD at the moment. It's all proving to be a little difficult to get apart. The wheels, this is the back wheel, the axle on this is nice and easy. You just undo the bolt to take it off and it pops out, so that's great. That's an easy one to clean up. But the wheels themselves, I believe they're pressed together, so I would not be able to take those apart to clean the insides very well, so that's going to be a problem. And also I'm not changing the tyres, so, but I mean, that is a weird tyre size. But yeah, so my plan of changing out the pop rivets, get that out of the way, these are all the rivets that I've drilled out, might work, but it also might not. I know of one that will, is the one that goes from the sissy bar, for lack of a better phrase. I've got two holes here in the sissy bar. One goes to the mudguard and one goes to the frame. Now, the seat rather. The one that goes to the mudguard, that'll be easy because it is a little bracket like that. So that'll be, I can put a nut and bolt through that quite easily. The second one that I might be able to do is the one that actually attaches the mudguard to the frame, which is just in there. Don't know if that'll pick up. There's that hole right down the bottom there, so I might be able to put a nut and bolt on that. Might not be as easy as I'd hoped. There's a bit of a big hole there to try and tap it out for a nut. I'm not sure. Yeah, and of course the two on the front that hold the front wheel on, that'll be easy. As I say, that one might be difficult, the one that holds the mudguard to the frame. The one that is going to be difficult is going to be the one that holds the seat to the sissy bar. As you can see, it's still in there because I thought that this was thicker than it actually is, and I was hoping to tap it, but it is. It's not that thick, the plastic. I mean, so that could be a problem. I may have to rivet that back on, which is not ideal. So that I'm still trying to ponder what to do there. The actual pin that holds the seat on, because it's pinned, that's actually been straightened slightly, so that's been bent to all hell. And the washer's dented because it's got these, if I can get this off one-handed, don't know if you'll just be able to see it in there. It's got one of those type of washer stud things on it, similar to the one at the bottom of the steering pin. So it's got one of them on there, so that's got a big dent in the end of it, which might be split, I'm not sure. I won't be able to tell that till I clean it up a bit. So yeah, the strip down is progressing. Wasn't the easiest thing in the world. A lot of drilling of rivets to get those apart. And then, you know, it's just a matter of cleaning it up. Right, so with the forks, because if you remember I said they were bent, they're slightly off centre, which they are no longer. They're a lot better, and they were also slightly too wide. Well, I took the front wheel off, drilled those two out, and the front wheel just fell off. And then to close this up, I actually used a C-clamp, just clamped it either side and just tightened it up until it was pretty close. Kept checking with the wheel, make sure it still fit, kept going until it was about right. And then with the bend, I just levered it. You can still sort of see, it was this side that was bent, you can sort of see where it's creased ever so fractionally, where that paint's chipping off. That's basically where the bend was. So by straightening it up, I've caused the paint to flake off. So that was easy enough. And all I did there was I braced the bars, and I just used my hammer the wrong way around and just tweaked until that came straight, and then adjusted that accordingly. So it's all sitting nice and level now. See, it's all sitting where it should be, more or less. It's not 100%, but I'm literally doing this in my conservatory with hand tools. But it is definitely a lot better. You can't see it anymore. It used to stick backwards about a quarter. It used to be more like that. But now when you sit it upright, it's almost completely hidden. So that's better. The next part to do is get the grips off, which I'm hoping heat. I'm hoping just gently heating those with a hot air gun and gently twisting, because as I say, it has got a bit of a split in it, and I really don't want to make that any worse. When I do get it off, I will drill a very small hole at the end of the split so it doesn't spread any further, but I don't want it getting any bigger while I'm trying to remove them. And then that's the only reason I want to remove them is so I can clean the grips up and I can clean the metalwork underneath ready for paint. So yeah, we're slowly getting there. These are the bearings for the steering, and genuinely they are different, and I can't remember which one was the top and which one was the bottom. I think that one's the bottom because it's got it might be yeah, I'll have to think on that. I'll have to look at that because they are different. That one's almost got like a lip to it, but these are where they go are both the same size almost. So it would sit in there, but I think that one might be the bottom one, but I'll have to check on that and things. So yeah, the strip down is taking place. The next thing to do is take the decals off, well, get the grips off, take the decals off and get it painted basically. Start the rub down and prep ready for paintwork. I have ever so carefully marked down roughly where the decals go so that you know roughly where to put them back, because that's the one problem with certain bikes is they don't quite look right if the decals aren't quite where they should be. So that's made a quick note there. It doesn't have to be immaculate because there's only really one place they can go, but as long as you're sort of in the right sort of ballpark, I mean, it's like with that head badge there, it can only go in the middle. So, as long as you're the same either side, you're laughing. You don't need to be 100% exact because, sometimes it may have been a fully working factory, but sometimes, Monday mornings happen. So you can get away with a little bit of angle. It's like that one there. That is, that's just not even remotely where it's not far off where it should be, but you can see the lower lip and it's just a whole thing. So yeah, you don't have to be 100% accurate on decals. You could, within a couple of millimeter and you're all right. And as long as it sits square and it looks fine, that would be my view. Is little thing like this. I mean, if it was worth thousands upon thousands upon thousands, then yes, you'd want it exactly. But this is maybe worth 100 quid, maybe 200 at a push once it's finished. And you got to remember as well that I'm not really doing it in accurate colours either. I'm doing it in Raleigh Chopper colours, or what the Raleigh Chopper forums reckon is a good rattle can equivalent. So the paint, the colour won't be exact either. So yeah, that's just a quick update to say, forgive me, just to say that I've started the strip down and now I'm trying to figure out what order to do things in. Yeah. That is actually a surprisingly heavy wheel. Because the front wheel's got all the pedal assembly in it, and it doesn't weigh as much. And that's just the bare wheel. I've taken the axle out of that, so I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Progress is upon us. I'm still trying to figure out what to do about a couple of rejoining, I should say. And now we're just going to start the strip back and clean up and repaint and things and just work on bits as we go. So, yeah, that'll do you. That's 10 minutes. Yeah, right. See you next time, folks. Ta-da.